Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Um, Today, we're going to be presenting the release of the Copernicus Ocean State Report, issue 6. And if you could go to the next slide. We'll start with an introduction about who we are, Mercator Ocean International. My name's Gratianne Quade. I work in the communications department, and you can contact me with any queries about this report or any other questions about ocean data or needs. Next, we'll have a presentation on the latest report and the Copernicus activities in general surrounding the Ocean State Report. And these will be presented by Dr. Karina von Schuckmann, who's an oceanographer specialized in ocean climate monitoring. And she's also been a lead author on several IPCC reports. Then we'll have a Q&A question where anyone can pose questions. And any of these can also be used as quotes in your articles and assets. And we'll have a close of the presentation, and we'll provide any links to the report, the summary, and materials. So we'll start with a word from our Director General, who is Pierre Bayorel. And he says that ocean change is the ocean's reaction to human activities, as well as the variations it undergoes naturally. It is a concept we work to describe through, for example, ocean data, forecasts, visualization tools, and in-depth analysis. The Ocean State Report is an annual publication, and it's one of the many tools we developed to tell this story of a changing ocean, which this year reveals an ocean in flux and in need of protection. So If you haven't heard of Mercator Ocean International, I'll just take a few minutes to explain what we do. That way it makes a little bit more sense on why we present this annual report every year. And you'll understand better our implications with different European programs. So Mercator Ocean is a non-for-profit organization. It's in the process of becoming an intergovernmental organization, and that will be done within the next couple years. During the One Ocean Summit, several countries supported and pushed for Mercator Ocean to become an intergovernmental organization. And it has a mission to develop Europe's digital twin of the ocean. And Mercator provides ocean intelligence, data, and expertise that covers the global ocean across the blue, white, and green. And Karina will talk more about that, but that's basically the physical ocean, sea ice, and biogeochemical and biological variables. And we were selected by the European Commission to implement multiple projects on the European level, including the Copernicus Marine Service in 2014. So I'm going to play this video for you so you can understand better what is a state-of-the-art numerical modeling system. You can go ahead and play now. That describes observations, current, even near real-time data and forecasts collected from in situ data, satellites, and the use of numerical models. So you can see here the collection of data. Those are examples of in situ. Here we have an example of satellite. And this is an example of what you might imagine to be a numerical model providing ocean data all the way to the depth of the different depths of the ocean that are then available for free and open use via computer. So we have quite a few programs and initiatives. One of which, of course, is the Copernicus Marine Service, which we've already mentioned. Another is the Digital Twin Ocean. One is Wikio, which is also a European Union project that provides, it's a online cloud portal with computing resources that provides all Copernicus service data as well as Sentinel data. We have a mission to share ocean knowledge and literacy. We also had a program called, or an initiative called EU for Oceanobs, which highlights Europe's initiatives across the global observing system, especially in situ. And also a UN Decade Collaborative Center, which focuses on ocean prediction. So we have a variety of tools that we offer. We offer knowledge, and that's everything from something called ETUFs, which is a expert team on operational oceanography forecasting systems, which can be used by different organizations around the world to develop forecasting systems. An ocean state report, ocean data catalog, ocean literacy and news, something called the Copernicus Blue Book, contributions to international reports, ocean monitoring indicators. And you can explore all this through Wikio, through our ocean explainers, ocean news. We have viewers and Oculus Rift, tactile tools, etc. So the digital twin of the ocean is a program, initiative that will rapidly fill the knowledge gaps that are critical to take action and nurture a global knowledge system. So this is, as you can see in the image, a system where many ocean sources of data will be added. And it allows different users on multiple different levels, from scientists to national experts to even regular citizens, to tap into this information and even run what-if scenarios. So if you need the latest ocean data and information, you can follow our sites on Mercator Ocean and the Copernicus Marine Service. For example, we had a analysis on the Arctic sea ice extent low, as well as an article summarizing what happened, particularly in the Mediterranean Sea, in terms of marine heat waves. Here you can find a link to all of our information on the Ocean State Report. And I'm going to hand it off to Karina, who's going to give you an overview of what the report activity is, and then also highlights for this 6th edition.
Thank you very much. So as mentioned, I will provide an overview on and some insights into the content of the Copernicus Ocean State Report, issue 6. My name is Karina von Schuckmann, and I'm leading the Ocean State Report activity. So just wrapping up for what has been done, explained so far. So Copernicus Marine Service is one of the 6 services of Copernicus. It's a flagship European Earth observation program, which provides regular and systematic reference information as explained in detail by Gratianne about the blue ocean, the physical parts, the white ocean, the sea ice part, the green ocean, biogeochemical and biological components. So this report, Marine Service provides key inputs that support the major EU and international policies and initiatives. Within the Copernicus Marine Service, there is one specific activity which is dedicated on ocean reporting, which is aiming for knowledge transfer of science-based information, again for blue, green, and white ocean, to a wide range of audience and the needs of downstream applications. In order to reach a wide audience, there are several tools within the ocean reporting activity, starting from the scientifically peer-reviewed ocean state reports published within a journal, and the development of ocean monitoring indicators, which are available on the web portal, and the summary of policymakers and various news just had been highlighted in the talk before in collaboration with the Ocean Communication and Marketing. So we have prepared now the Ocean State Report 6. It has been prepared by more than 150 experts from more than 30 international institutions, which provides an expert assessment on the state of the European regional seas and also the global ocean, and at the end to track marine environment evolution, to monitor and to communicate otherwise very complex changes to audience such as, for example, decision makers, policy agencies, stakeholders for sustainable development, and the wider public. So I will go across the 3 different components. I will start with the blue ocean. So here's an example on one of the ocean monitoring indicators, where information which go up to real time and which are also included in the summary of the Ocean State Report 6. So this is the physical state of the ocean, including, for example, sea surface temperature, sea level, and ocean currents. Within the report, there had been specific highlights described in the peer-reviewed sections of 2 severe storms, like the storm Gloria and the Hurricane Ianos, which impacted the Mediterranean Sea in the year 2020. Then from the Ocean Monitoring Indicator Framework is the updated information from 1993 up to now on global sea surface temperature rise, which is increasing by about 16 degrees Celsius per year. And then also there is reporting on unusually strong heat waves and ocean heat content recorded in the Mediterranean Sea and disrupted sea ice in the Baltic Sea, which I will explain later again, 2019 and 20 winter season. And I also would like to link you, as mentioned earlier, to most recent analysis on the Mediterranean heat wave event taking place in summer 22. To go more depth, another example of one specific section, which is aiming for providing regional information on impacts of climate change, and done here as a joint analysis in order to link different information across the pillars of sustainable development. So with regional focus here provided on the Tyrrhenian Sea, and which is covering the past 40 years. And so Tyrrhenian Sea is a highly vulnerable area, particularly also because it's a highly populated area. And what had been done in collaboration with the European Service for Storm Laboratory and the Copernicus Marine Service, linking events, extreme events, for example, but also long-term change of ocean warming and marine heat waves on the evolution of frequency, duration, and the number, which have all increased, and linked to also to weather extremes and linked fatalities from extreme events in collaboration with the European Laboratory, and showing that continued ocean warming is tightly linked and triggering a change in the seasons, with earlier season and longer summer season, which has accumulated over the 40 years to 1 month, and which is an important information, for example, for agriculture evolutions. And so the increasing number of intensity of extremes in the marine area, but also in the atmospheric part for the weather events, and also linked to increased and related adverse impacts, not only for the marine ecosystems, but also for socioeconomic aspects on this coastal area. Another highlight we have analyzed in collaboration with the Belmont Forum project, which is called PACPAS, with a focus on another vulnerable area for climate change. These are low-lying areas here in the Pacific area. So with a focus on pilot studies in Fiji and New Caledonia in order to advocate a methodology for the use of ocean data to support society and economy. So there's just one example from this very transdisciplinary collaboration, which could be established in the 6th issue of the Ocean State Report with the use of complementary data types, particularly data types close to the coast, either from large scale signatures, from remote sensing, but also from in situ, local in situ measurements. And the results have shown that there is a fundamental and that there is a need, in particularly by combining these data sets and showing for combining the information on long-term change, but also with extremes, as you can see in the lower time series, with the improved capturing of signal from the direct measurements. Then there are some insights into results obtained from both the Ocean State Report and also the Ocean Monitoring Indicator on the Green Ocean, which encompasses biological and biogeochemical state of the ocean, such as the ocean acidification, chlorophyll A concentrations, for example. So here you have an overview and the mechanisms, so explaining also the process in terms of eutrophication and what has been proposed and developed from the scientists in the Ocean State Report 6 is the development of a new indicator which is based on satellite remote sensing data of chlorophyll data in order to develop an indicator for assessing the state of eutrophication in the European seas, and which has been submitted to Eurostat for recent reporting. And another topic which has been mentioned also in the video you have seen at the beginning on a new approach used for winter surface nutrient content as a proxy to predict how fertile a particular ocean region will be in the following spring and summer. Again, I would like to dive into this aspect of the methodology development, which nicely shows how important is the linkage of academic and scientific development in order to support policy and specifically sustainable development reporting. And so this is again the development of a potential eutrophication of European waters using satellite-derived chlorophyll data, as mentioned earlier, and will have been particularly used for the development for reporting to the Sustainable Development Goal 14.1, and has been used and will be continuously used for Eurostat reporting and their regular annual reporting on sustainable development aspects. Then I would also draw attention to the results obtained for the White Ocean, which is encompassing the frozen marine parts on Earth. So with the focus on the Northern Hemisphere here for the Arctic area, the indicator framework again highlights the steady decline of sea ice extent, which is a serious challenge facing the Arctic area, an Arctic area which is very sensitive to climate change. And so the results from the Copernicus Ocean State Report show the severe decline of the sea ice in the recent years. Then in the report, issue 6, there had been also a specific study tackled by the researchers on the oceanic response to the 2020 Siberian heat wave, with a particular focus on the aspect of extended periods of ice-free areas in the Laptev Sea, as you can see here, which was an extension from a usual extension between August and mid of September, and had been extended from July to the mid of October. And so this 2020 situation stand out as one of the years with the least sea ice in the Arctic since satellite records started in the 70s. And again, for July to December, the sea ice cover was on record low. And most remarkable was the strong prolonged ice-free seas along the Siberian shelf. Another example for the White Ocean is a study in the sea ice evolution in the Baltic Sea. So in winter, the Baltic Sea had been hit in winter 2019-2020 by unusually strong marine heat wave, and which has so the warming of the ocean and this long extended event is tightly linked to the conditions of sea ice in this area. And what could be observed is that there was a very low sea ice and record, and even compared to historical data back to 7020, and which has pointed that there was a reduction of 91% of sea ice cover as compared to a fully ice covered Baltic Sea, which appeared last time in the 40s. Another focus is provided also for the Southern Hemisphere aspect here on the Antarctic sea ice. So sea ice extent in the Antarctic remain normal for winter and summer periods in the 2020 and 21. Specific in 22, as you can see also in news available on our website, shows that the Antarctic minimum summer sea ice extent reached a record low, ranking second low in the 44-year data record. And then finally, there was also a specific study for the Antarctic area in the Ocean State Report, which was particularly dedicated to two aspects. First, to have a focus on the changes on marginal ice zones. What is a marginal ice zone? This is a transition zone between the open ocean and the dense ice drifts, where sea ice covers 15 to 80% of the total area of the ocean, and is a very sensitive and a fundamental area for climate dynamics and the polar ecosystems. And so particularly supporting relevant processes such as air, sea gas, and carbon exchanges, marine primary production, and the delivery of nutrients to the ocean. And the second aspect in the study was linked to detecting trends over the past more than 30 years on the sea ice, and particularly the results have shown that particularly strong, for example, decreasing trends, regional trends have been occurred in areas of marginal sea ice coverage. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact.
Great, thank you, Karina. That was a really excellent presentation, and we will go ahead and post that PowerPoint presentation with our materials. So looks like we have a couple questions here. This comes from one of our participants. Are there links with Mercator and Copernicus data and the more international reporting like the IPCC or WMO?
Yes, there are. Thank you for this question. So the IPCC, for example, is working in terms of taking up and assessing the information which had been published by a scientific community. And amongst others, there had been uptake of information we have provided in the different issues of the Ocean State Report. And for the WMO, for example, there's a regular publication and reporting on the state of the climate. And so with our information, we provide specific information on the aspect of ocean warming, but also contribute to the discussions on ocean acidification, for example, and sea level rise.
Oh, that's really interesting. And it looks like we have another. Let's take a look at this question. What type of ocean monitoring do you offer? So I would think this person would like to know more about the different tools such as the ocean monitoring indicators. What types of indicators are offered and how are those useful to different applications?
Yeah, so there's a wide range of ocean monitoring indicators, which is evolving also with the evolving knowledge we receive from science, for example, so which is tightly linked. And so there are, again, information available across the three ocean types, so the blue, green, and white ocean. And there are various applications. So this can start from climate change relevant indicators such as sea level rise, ocean warming, but also for also ocean acidification. So we have, for example, global scale trends, but also regional trends of ocean acidification over the past decades. And there are specific links which is reaching from academia. And again, coming back to the regular reporting activities like WMO, but also IPCC, and then also for example, as I've shown before, on the uptake on policy reporting, such as Eurostat. So, for example, we provide not only eutrophication status, but also information on acidification, which is then tightly linked again to another sustainable development goal. And finally, we are also starting new activities, so a bit commercial for the upcoming activities for the next issue on providing, as we have started in Ocean State Report 6, providing more regional information linking to society and economic needs to really close the three pillars of sustainable development, and then to further provide this information, such as, for example, the collaboration we have started with Oceania, or, for example, with the specific focus provided in the Mediterranean Sea, and there have been also some others, and we continue this effort.
These sound very comprehensive and very much linked with the needs on an international and national levels. So that's great. And as a word to everyone, for example, our ocean monitoring indicators are available on the website, Copernicus Marine Service. You can find the link on the homepage. Thank you for that question. Let's move on to the next one. So how do you arrive at selecting the subjects covered in the Ocean State Report?
So there are different, let's say, approaches or strategies in order to tackle these aspects. So, which is, I mean, the core aspect of coordinating and putting into place and collaborating with all the different scientists. Again, we had more than 150 with many institutions. So there are two aspects. One is driven by specific monitoring needs, which are, for example, identified international level from IPCC or also WMO. There are specific frameworks and recommendations on how to monitor, for example, the aspect of climate change. But there's also a mechanism in the Ocean State Report that there's a so-called call of contribution, where European institutions can provide suggest their propositions on the hot topics they're working in the regional areas, and where they have new advancements to show. And so this provides a very dynamic and nice mixture of providing, on the one hand, regular reporting, which we again want to intensify in future activities and also more regionalized, but also provides an overview on the current activities and new developments in terms of science and for the different regional areas, which again I think are an important need in terms of evolving climate change, where we have to get more and more regional information in order to support adaptation strategies, for example, and to linking again our environmental information with the needs for the other pillars like society and economy to achieve a sustainable future.
Excellent, excellent. This is a very comprehensive activity, and it sounds like it's very much interlinked with other product offerings within the Copernicus Marine Service and across Mercator as well. So it looks like that is the conclusion of our questions. If anyone has any more questions, please go ahead and pose them now. Otherwise, we will wrap up this session and provide this video along with the links to the report, the summary, and other assets that we've created alongside it. Please feel free to contact me if you have media inquiries, if you're looking for an interview. The content in this video, you can use quotes, you can use images, you can use information, and please feel free, yes, to use this for the creation of any articles and contact us for further information. Thank you very much.